Right now, before you blink, before you scroll, before your mind jumps away, feel this moment, because this is the exact space where futures are either built or quietly abandoned. There is something you have been meaning to do. You know exactly what it is. You do not need to think about it. Your body already reacted when the thought appeared. That tightness in your chest, that small wave of hesitation, that subtle drop in your stomach, that is not doubt. That is not fear. That is not confusion. That is the invisible line your life keeps stopping at. Your life is not stuck because you lack desire. It is not stuck because you lack talent. It is not stuck because you lack opportunity. Your life is stuck because your mind learned long ago how to keep you in a version of yourself that feels familiar. Your mind does not measure your potential. It measures your safety. And safety does not mean happiness. It means predictability. It means, I know what happens here. It means I understand this story. Your nervous system was trained to recognize a certain level of success, confidence, attention, and visibility as normal. Anything above that level feels dangerous, even if it is better. So your system does what it was trained to do. It slows you down. It distracts you. It fills your head with noise. It makes starting feel heavy. It makes progress feel awkward. It makes consistency feel exhausting, not because you are broken, but because your internal system is loyal to an identity that once protected you. At some point in your life, you learned who you were allowed to be. You learned how loud you could be, how visible you could be, how confident you could be, how successful you could be without attracting pain, judgment, loss, or rejection. You learned the invisible boundaries of your safe self, and your nervous system memorized those boundaries. So now, every time you approach something that would change your story, your body reacts before your logic does. Your chest tightens, your breath shortens, your focus fades, your energy drops, your mind looks for distractions. You call it procrastination, but it is not procrastination. It is your nervous system protecting an old identity, an identity built from repetition, from early experiences, from emotional memory, from what once felt necessary to survive socially, emotionally, and psychologically. Your habits are not random. Your delays are not random. Your hesitation is not random. They are structured behaviors that keep you aligned with who you believe you are. And here is the quiet truth. You do not rise to what you want. You return to what you believe you are. So you can want a bigger life, but your system will always pull you back to your self-image. You can want progress, but your system will return you to what feels normal. Normal might be stress. Normal might be struggle. Normal might be being overlooked. Normal might be being almost there but never fully there. But normal feels safe to your body. So every time you start moving forward, your system creates friction. It creates tiredness. It creates confusion. It creates emotional heaviness. It creates doubt that feels logical. It creates not today feelings that feel responsible, and you obey them without realizing what you are really obeying. You are obeying an old version of you that is afraid of becoming unfamiliar to itself. You are obeying an emotional memory that says, do not step outside what we know how to handle. You are obeying an identity that was never consciously chosen. And this is why your life can feel like it is repeating, even though you swear you want change. You are not lazy. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are trained. And training can be changed, but not through pressure, not through guilt, not through shouting at yourself. Your internal system must be taught that growth is not danger, that visibility is not threat, that progress is not loss. And that begins with awareness, because once you can see what your system is protecting, you stop fighting yourself. You stop blaming yourself. You stop draining your energy in internal battles. And something very quiet but very powerful starts to happen. Your resistance begins to loosen. Your nervous system begins to relax. Your mind begins to allow a new version of normal. And when that happens, forward motion no longer feels heavy. It feels natural. It feels obvious. It feels like who you are now, not who you are trying to force yourself to become. This is the real beginning, not a push, not a promise, not a countdown, a shift, a shift in what your system believes you are allowed to be, and everything changes from there. Every habit you repeat is not just something you do. It is something you confirm about who you are. Each delay whispers a story to your mind. Each hesitation reinforces a belief. Each time you stop short of your potential, your nervous system records it as proof of what is normal for you. Your identity is not formed by big moments. It is formed by small, repeated confirmations. Not what you say you are, what you repeatedly show your system you are. Your body learns faster than your logic. So when you tell yourself, I am going to change, but your actions stay the same, your nervous system believes your behavior, not your words. It says, this is still who we are, and it strengthens the old pattern. That is why change feels so heavy at first. You are not fighting laziness. You are fighting emotional memory. Your nervous system remembers what happened the last time you tried. It remembers the embarrassment. It remembers the disappointment. It remembers the silence. It remembers the rejection. It remembers the exhaustion. And it does not care that this moment is different. It only cares that pain once followed effort. So it steps in early. It lowers your energy. It clouds your focus. It makes your goals feel distant. It creates logic that sounds responsible but keeps you small. This is not weakness. This is protection. Your system learned trying can hurt, so it teaches you to delay, to overthink, to stay invisible, to stay in preparation mode, to stay almost ready, not because you are afraid of effort, but because your body associates effort with emotional pain. You think you are afraid of failure, but your system is afraid of emotional shock. The shock of disappointment, the shock of judgment, the shock of being seen and not received, the shock of trying and not getting the result your heart hoped for. So your nervous system chooses a smaller pain, stagnation, to avoid a sharper pain, rejection. And over time, stagnation starts to feel normal. You adapt to it, you function inside it, you build routines around it, you explain it to others, you rationalize it, you begin to call it your personality. I'm just not consistent. I'm not disciplined. I work better under pressure. I'm not like those people. I'm just realistic. But these are not personality traits. They are survival habits that stayed longer than they were needed. Your system does not know that your life has more room now. It does not know that your voice can be stronger now. It does not know that you are safer now. It only knows what once hurt and how to avoid it. So it keeps pulling you back into smaller versions of yourself. This is why your motivation feels like it leaks. You can feel inspired in the morning and heavy by afternoon. You can feel excited at night and empty the next day. Your logic wants progress. Your nervous system wants safety. And safety means stay who we know. Until these two systems agree, your life stays in tension. One part of you dreams. Another part of you breaks. One part wants expansion. Another part wants protection. And you live in the middle, tired, confused, and quietly frustrated. But here is what shifts everything. Your nervous system does not need proof that your dreams are possible. It needs proof that growth is safe, not imagined proof, not verbal proof, physical proof. Small, controlled experiences that teach your body, I can move and nothing breaks. I can be seen and I am still okay. I can act and I am still safe. I can change and I do not lose myself. Your system learns through repetition, not inspiration. You do not need a dramatic leap. You need new normal. Tiny expansions that do not shock your nervous system. Moments that gently stretch your identity without triggering emotional threat. Because identity does not change through force. It changes through evidence. Evidence that your body collects. Evidence that your system trusts. And once your system begins to trust growth, your resistance softens. Your hesitation loosens. Your habits start to shift naturally. Your discipline stops feeling like pressure. Your progress starts to feel like alignment, not effort, alignment. This is where real change begins, not by demanding more from yourself, but by teaching your system that more is safe. And when your system finally accepts that, your forward motion becomes inevitable. Your mind was not designed to push you forward. It was designed to keep you alive in an uncertain world. So when you feel an invisible wall appear right before a big step, that wall is not imaginary. It is a survival response that was shaped by your past, even if your past no longer reflects your present. Every emotional reaction you feel has a history. Your hesitation carries memories. Your fear carries meaning. Your resistance carries lessons that were once necessary. And because your body learned these lessons during emotionally charged moments, it treats them as truth. Your system does not ask, is this still true? It asks, did this once protect us? And if the answer is yes, it keeps the rule. So now, years later, when you try to become more visible, more confident, more consistent, more focused, more disciplined, your body reacts as if danger is present, even when none is. You feel tension in your shoulders. Your breathing shifts. Your focus weakens. Your emotions flatten or spike. Your mind interprets this as, I'm not ready. But your body is saying, we don't recognize this version of us yet. Your nervous system only trusts what it knows, and what it knows is your old rhythm. The rhythm of almost trying, the rhythm of stopping short, the rhythm of small effort followed by retreat, the rhythm of waiting, the rhythm of staying safe. Your rhythm is your real habit. So you can change your routines, but if your rhythm stays the same, your results stay the same. This is why people can reorganize their schedule, download productivity apps, read books, set alarms, and still remain stuck. They change behavior. They did not change rhythm. And rhythm is driven by your nervous system, not your to-do list. So the question is not, why can't I move forward? The real question is, what version of me does my nervous system recognize as safe? Because your system will always return you to that version. So change does not begin with pressure. It begins with introducing your body to a new version of you, slowly, consistently, gently. A version of you that moves a little further. A version of you that speaks a little louder. A version of you that finishes a little more. A version of you that delays a little less, not to shock your system, but to show it something new. Your nervous system adapts through repetition, not intensity, not emotional speeches. Repetition, small daily proof that movement is safe. This is how identity shifts. Not by deciding, by demonstrating. You do not become consistent by declaring consistency. You become consistent by repeating small acts that your system accepts. You do not become confident by shouting affirmations. You become confident by surviving small moments of visibility without emotional harm. You do not become disciplined by force. You become disciplined by building proof that finishing does not cost you your safety. Your system does not trust words, it trusts experience. So your future is built through the smallest agreements you make with your nervous system. Agreements like, I can take one step and stop, and I'm still safe. I can show up briefly, and nothing bad happens. I can finish one small thing, and my identity does not collapse. These tiny proofs slowly rewrite what normal feels like. And once your system accepts a new normal, the resistance fades, not because you became stronger, but because your system stopped seeing growth as danger. Your energy returns, your clarity sharpens, your focus steadies, your follow-through improves, not through willpower, through internal permission. This is the quiet engine behind real change. And this is why some people suddenly become different, while others try harder and harder and feel heavier and heavier. They did not push more. They changed what their body believed was safe. And when your system believes growth is safe, forward motion stops feeling forced. It feels like who you are. And that is when your life finally begins to move without the inner war, because the war was never with your goals. It was with your old identity. And that identity can be gently, patiently, powerfully rewritten. Every version of you lives inside your body, not as a memory, not as a thought, but as a physical state. There is a small version of you that knows how to survive quietly. There is a hidden version of you that knows how to stay unnoticed. There is a hesitant version of you that knows how to pause before risk. There is a waiting version of you that knows how to delay. And your nervous system recognizes these versions as safe because they were practiced for years. Your future self, the one that speaks clearly, moves boldly, finishes fully, and steps forward without shrinking, feels unfamiliar to your body. Unfamiliar feels dangerous. So your system keeps pulling you back into older states. You might notice it in subtle ways. You sit down to work and suddenly feel tired. You plan to post and suddenly feel unsure. You promise yourself consistency and suddenly feel distracted. You imagine being seen and suddenly feel exposed. Your body is choosing an old state that feels safe, not because you are incapable, but because your nervous system has not accepted your future self yet. Your system is loyal to your past, and loyalty runs deep. You are not fighting habits. You are renegotiating identity. And identity is not stored in your thoughts, it is stored in your nervous system. So change must happen in your body before it shows up in your life. You must feel like the person you are becoming before you can live as them consistently. That is why you can visualize, affirm, plan, and still stay the same. Your body must accept the new version of you as real, not imagined, not wished, felt. You must introduce your system to small doses of your future self, moments where you behave as that person, briefly, safely, consistently, moments where you speak a little clearer, where you move a little faster, where you finish a little more, where you show up a little bolder, not to prove anything, but to teach your body a new emotional state. Because once your body recognizes that state as safe, your identity shifts naturally. Your habits follow, your choices follow, your results follow. This is why lasting change feels effortless once it locks in, not because life gets easier, but because your body stops resisting the new you. You stop dragging yourself forward. You walk forward as yourself. So do not chase motivation. Train familiarity. Make small forward motion familiar. Make finishing familiar. Make showing up familiar. Make consistency familiar. Not dramatic, not exhausting, familiar. Because your system does not fear difficulty, it fears unfamiliar identity. Once the unfamiliar becomes familiar, the brakes release and your life moves. Your future does not feel heavy because it is hard. It feels heavy because it is unfamiliar. Your body does not resist effort. It resists unfamiliar versions of you. So every time you stand at the edge of change, what you are really feeling is not fear of the task. You are feeling the discomfort of leaving a known identity. Your mind quietly asks, if I become this person, who do I stop being? Who do you stop being to your family? Who do you stop being to your friends? Who do you stop being to yourself? Every identity comes with emotional contracts, contracts about how you relate, how you are treated, how you belong, how you are seen. Growth changes contracts, and your nervous system senses that. So it slows you down, not to stop your success, but to preserve emotional stability. It says, do not change the story too fast. We might lose our place. This is why your system may resist your growth even when your life needs it, because your body values emotional belonging more than progress. So it asks quietly, if we become more, will we still belong? If we stand taller, will we still be accepted? If we change, will we still be loved? These questions live under your hesitation. So your resistance is not random. It is emotional loyalty, loyalty to who you were allowed to be. And the only way forward is not to force your body, but to reassure it, to show your system through experience that your growth does not break your belonging, that you can move forward and still be safe, that you can change and still be connected, that you can expand and still be you. And this is done through tiny, consistent actions that stretch your identity without threatening it. You show up slightly more. You speak slightly clearer. You follow through slightly longer. You move slightly faster. You prove gently that nothing collapses when you step forward. And your body learns this is safe. Once that learning locks in, your hesitation fades. Your energy stabilizes. Your forward motion becomes natural. You stop dragging yourself. You start walking as yourself because you are no longer trying to become someone new. You are simply being who your system now accepts you to be, and that changes everything. The most powerful prison you will ever live in is not made of walls. It is made of emotional memory. Your body remembers what your mind forgot. It remembers moments when you were shut down. It remembers moments when your voice was ignored. It remembers moments when effort did not pay off. It remembers moments when hope felt expensive. So it built invisible rules, rules like do not try too hard, do not stand out too much, do not expect too much, do not move too fast. Not because those rules were true, but because they once reduced emotional pain. Those rules became your identity. They became your normal. So now, when you try to move beyond those limits, your body reacts as if you are breaking a survival law. Your energy dips, your focus slips, your motivation fades, your confidence shrinks, not because you are failing, but because your system believes you are leaving safety, and it pulls you back into the emotional prison that once protected you. This is why growth can feel lonely, because you are not just changing habits, you are changing emotional contracts. You are changing how you relate, how you are seen, how you fit, how you define yourself. Your nervous system senses the shift and resists. But here is the truth. You are not meant to remain the person you were when you were smaller. You are allowed to outgrow your old limits. You are allowed to change your rhythm. You are allowed to step into unfamiliar versions of yourself. But your body must be guided there gently. You must teach it safety through repetition, not force, not pressure. Repetition, small wins, small finishes, small steps forward. Each one tells your system, we can move, and nothing breaks. And slowly the prison doors loosen. Your breath opens, your posture changes, your energy lifts, your clarity returns, not because your problems vanished, but because your body stopped fighting your growth. You do not need more willpower. You need more familiarity with your future self. And that familiarity is built one small agreement at a time. This is how your life begins to move again, not loudly, not dramatically, quietly, consistently. You are not stuck in life. You are stuck in a state, a physical state, an emotional state, a nervous system state that feels familiar, even if it is uncomfortable. Your posture, your breathing, your energy, your tone, your pace, they are not random. They are expressions of the version of you your body currently lives in. And as long as your body stays in that state, your results will repeat. You can change your plans. You can change your intentions. You can change your promises. But your body will always return you to the same emotional rhythm. That rhythm decides how much you show up, how much you push, how much you finish, how much you allow yourself to win. Your rhythm is your real identity. So real change is not about becoming disciplined. It is about becoming regulated. A regulated nervous system does not panic around growth. It does not shut down around responsibility. It does not collapse under visibility. It stays present. It stays steady. It stays clear. And from that state, consistency feels natural. So the key to your future is not pressure. It is regulation. You must teach your body to stay calm while you expand, calm while you show up, calm while you commit, calm while you follow through. This is done through small exposures. You step forward a little and stay present. You do not retreat immediately. You breathe. You let your body feel that nothing bad happens, and you repeat. You are not proving strength. You are training safety. Each time you do this, your nervous system rewrites its rules. This is okay. This is not dangerous. This is allowed. And your old limits begin to dissolve. Your energy increases. Your hesitation weakens. Your confidence stabilizes. Not because you forced yourself, but because your body learned that growth does not equal loss. This is where your life begins to open. Not through hype, through regulation, through calm expansion, through familiarity with the version of you that moves forward. There is a quiet moment that happens right before every breakthrough, not a loud moment, not a dramatic moment, a small internal one. It is the moment your body realizes this is no longer dangerous. That single shift changes your life more than years of effort, because once your system accepts your growth as safe, your energy stops fighting you. You no longer feel the same invisible drag. Your focus sharpens. Your follow-through strengthens. Your clarity returns, not because you became tougher, but because your body stopped resisting the new you. So the real work is not chasing motivation. It is teaching safety, and safety is taught through repetition, not giant steps, small, controlled expansions. You finish something small. You keep a promise to yourself. You show up when it would be easier to hide. You stay present when your body wants to retreat, and you let your system feel the moment after. You let it learn. We did this, and we are okay. This rewrites your emotional baseline. It rewrites your normal. It rewrites who you feel allowed to be. And when your normal shifts, your habits follow. Your choices follow. Your future follows. You stop forcing progress. Progress becomes who you are. This is how lives change quietly, not through noise, through identity, through familiarity, through calm, steady expansion. There comes a moment when you finally realize something that changes the way you see your entire life. Not because you learned a new idea, but because you recognized a pattern you have lived inside for years. You notice how every time your life is about to move forward, something inside you slows down. You notice how clarity fades. You notice how distractions multiply. You notice how energy drops, not once, not twice, but in cycles. And suddenly it becomes clear. Your life is not standing still by accident. It is standing still by design, a design created by your nervous system to keep you emotionally safe, even if it costs you your growth. So your body learned a rhythm: hope, excitement, planning, delay, distraction, retreat, repeat. That rhythm became familiar. Familiar became safe. Safe became who you are. And now your life follows that rhythm automatically. You are not failing. You are repeating a survival rhythm that once protected you. So the way out is not more effort. It is a new rhythm, a new pattern, a new emotional baseline. You must show your body that a different rhythm can exist, one where action does not lead to collapse, one where visibility does not lead to loss, one where consistency does not lead to burnout, one where success does not lead to danger. And this is done one small cycle at a time. Action, presence, completion, rest. Action, presence, completion, rest. This rhythm retrains your system. It teaches your body a new story. This is safe. This is allowed. This is who we are now. And slowly your life begins to move, not in bursts, but in flow, not in hype, but in stability, not in force, but in alignment. You do not become someone new. You become who your system finally accepts. And when that happens, forward motion becomes natural, not heavy, natural. This is how your future opens, quietly, steadily, for real. There is a version of you that already exists, not someday, not after you are ready, not after you fix yourself. That version is already present, waiting for your nervous system to allow it to become normal. Your life has not been on pause because you lack power. It has been on pause because your body has not yet recognized your future self as safe. So you have been living under an old emotional ceiling, a ceiling built from memory, from repetition, from identity, and ceilings do not break through pressure. They rise through familiarity. You do not need to become stronger. You need to become familiar with moving, familiar with finishing, familiar with showing up, familiar with staying present while you expand. This is how your nervous system rewrites your limits. You move a little and stay. You show up a little and stay. You finish a little and stay. You let your body feel safety in motion, and slowly, quietly, steadily, your emotional ceiling lifts. Your breath deepens. Your posture changes, your tone shifts, your decisions sharpen, not because you forced yourself, but because your body finally allows you to be more. This is the real reason your life starts moving. Not hype, not pressure, not willpower. Permission, internal permission, from the deepest system that controls your habits, your rhythm, your future. So do not wait for motivation. Do not wait for confidence. Do not wait for the right time. Your system learns through repetition. Give it gentle proof. Let your body learn what your future already knows. And one day, without drama, without noise, without struggle, you will look back and realize you are no longer standing still. You are already walking, and your life is finally moving forward.